What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, talking today about downloadable content and asking the hard question, eventually will this kill gaming? So in the 90s we had a lot of interesting major franchises being established. It was kind of a testing ground for the gaming we see today. Well, around this time people discovered add-on content. Good examples of this are games like StarCraft, or even I would go so far as to say Metal Gear Solid VR Missions. This was a game that came out directly after the original Metal Gear Solid. They knew they would not be able to make a Metal Gear Solid 2 for a long time, but they wanted to put something out to really appease fans. A lot of expansion packs and add-on content in the 90s was very high quality, mostly because many of these companies were very fledgling. They were new and upcoming, and brand name was everything. If Blizzard just half-assed an expansion pack for Warcraft 2, there may not be a Warcraft 3. In 1999, when the Sega Dreamcast came out, we started to actually see our first downloadable content from the web. Those who were subscribed to SegaNet, the online service of Sega, was able to get additional weird stuff and play a lot of games online. The most notable example of this on the Dreamcast is definitely Phantasy Star Online. If you were connected online and downloaded all the patches, you could actually play whole Christmas specials. All the towns would get changed to have Christmas decorations or Halloween decorations, along with unlocking special Halloween-themed weapons. This is something World of Warcraft has done extremely well. Many MMOs now try and really immerse you into the holiday spirit by creating all sorts of silly holiday-themed things, and I think they took a strong tie from games like Phantasy Star and Sonic Adventure. They came out with special holiday packs that let you know, hey, the developers are celebrating, they want you to celebrate with their game and with their product. When the original Xbox came out, Microsoft really wanted to show you that this is your all-in-one gaming machine. Once Xbox Live came out, they started releasing their own version of downloadable content. Almost always, games would have an extra little thing you could download that would add on to the game. It was almost always free as well. It was never anything massive, but things like Knights of the Old Republic, the Star Wars game that's so legendary. If you went online, you could download an additional planet. Now, you couldn't do anything on this planet except go to a shop, but this shop sold immensely powerful weapons, and it kind of created this extra little thing that was fun for the die-hard gamers. Those of us who had a good internet connection and were willing to pay Xbox Live were getting this little tiny extra perk that was fun for us. As an interesting side note, they actually released all of their downloadable content on discs as well. What they would do is, if you were subscribed to official Xbox magazine, they would send you a disc each month inside of the magazine. That would have the demo for the next releases, trailers for games that were far off that may not even be shown at E3, and also downloadable content from the previous few months. This was a very successful idea. But then, things started to get sour. People started to realize, hey, if I'm creating this extra little tiny bit of content, what if I expanded on it and made it have a price tag? I think one of the first DLC things I ever bought on the Xbox was Ninja Gaiden. They released an additional add-on pack that created a new difficulty, Black difficulty. This was going to make everybody harder. In fact, if you read the description of what was called the Hurricane pack for Ninja Gaiden on the original Xbox, it said, playing on this difficulty, the first boss is harder than the last boss. They wanted to make an immensely difficult thing for those of us who wanted that extra challenge while waiting for, theoretically, a Ninja Gaiden 2. About this time, many companies started creating little tiny DLC packs that cost between $3 and $5. If you were playing Counter-Strike on the Xbox or on PC, sometimes there'd be an add-on pack that would give you a humongous amount of additional maps that were all very creative. This was something I really liked because it seemed like the point of these was that it was really letting the original developers take the mittens off. When you're first trying to make a game, you're trying to make things that are balanced and well constructed and really by the books, well calculated maps and, general scenarios. But with DLC, you really got to experiment. You really got to see more out there bizarro things, more ideas going against the wall, because they wanted to kind of reward people for really trusting the company more than the original price tag. Xbox 360 comes out, and Xbox Live was a lot stronger than PlayStation Network at this time. I think PlayStation Network's caught up a lot now, but at this time, Xbox 360 and what they called Xbox Arcade was very strong. Almost all the downloadable content was tested and tested discussed it extensively on there. The first game ever that really went full blast with, though, was Rockstar. And that was with Grand Theft Auto 4. If you bought Grand Theft Auto 4, it is an immensely huge, beautiful story of hate and redemption and the real cost of inner freedoms. And if you were willing to pay an additional $20, you could get 2 add-on packs, The Ballad of Gay Tony and The Lost and the Damned. Things that added a huge part of the story, and you even got to bump into the original characters from here and there. This was a genius idea, and it made them millions and millions of dollars, because Rockstar knows how to do things right. All the other companies, though, started looking at that and going, wow, they just came out with some additional gameplay stuff, some additional campaign, and people literally drowned them in money. We can do that. We can just slap some shit out there. And thus the deluge began. Everybody wanted in on this. After that, almost every single game had some form of downloadable content. Something. It was a requirement after that. Every company had to come up with some sort of downloadable content idea. One of the best examples of this is horse armor. So when you played the original Elder Scrolls 4 game, Oblivion, you could buy armor for your horse for $2. Yes, you heard that exactly right. Your horse basically got a little tiny boost cosmetically. That was it, for 2 whole American dollars. The reason people got so pissed about this was this is the first time we ever bought something that was basically tassels on our little bicycle. Granted, the other downloadable packs on Elder Scrolls Oblivion were amazing. Shimmering Isles was hilarious. This is really where we started to see the trend go downhill. Everybody wanted to have a downloadable costume or something. Unfortunately, this is where pre-order bonuses started sneaking in. Part of the downloadable content would only be accessible to those who pre-ordered the game at explicit retailers. This is the most insane, asinine part of downloadable content. My friends and I are competitive gamers. I mean, to literally the nth degree. We're in the top 5%. If we ever play games, we're always on the top of the charts. We go to a lot of tournaments and we win some money. But that's not the point. The point is we challenge each other every day in every way to make sure we stay at peak performance. So when the original Dead Space came out, I was very eager to dig in. I wanted to beat it before everybody else. My friends and I all took 3 days off, we all bought the game, and we all went to the midnight release simultaneously. We all agreed, whoever beats it first has to buy Mountain Dew for the other guys. Now I know this sounds silly, but we were really trying to do this. So I sat down and I started playing the hell out of Dead Space. I pulled an all-nighter, I slept 6 hours, I woke up, got an energy drink, dug right back in. I was gonna win that Mountain Dew no matter what. When suddenly, 10 hours in, my friend texted me that he had already won. When I asked how, he said, yeah, everything just hurt so little. It turned out that where he had pre-ordered the game, he got something called Scorpion Armor. This was a DLC pre-order bonus that made it where your character had humongous inventory, could carry hundreds of items, and took 15% less damage than I did. He had a humongous advantage. Now, this isn't me complaining about him cheating. It's me worrying about them cheating us out of an experience. If you're trying to make a horror game and one of the downloadable content add-ons is removes horror, that's damaging the product. And this is showing a very strong bad trend. Now, companies need to sell DLC to break even. They need to sell DLC to cover their immense product cost. And because of it, DLC is really getting shoveled out, put on discs, and done in any way possible. I'm afraid it's only going to get worse. When I look at things like Games with Gold, the Xbox service that makes you get a free game each month, or if I look at PlayStation Plus's free games, these are games that you get every single week. They have some sort of free game on PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, or the PS3. Sony and Microsoft buy these games' rights completely in whole from the company so they can release them for free to you. Now, the reason they do this is for you to buy additional content. Normally, especially on the PlayStation, they will buy very new games that have come out in the last 6 months and release them for free to us. Now, this is trying to get us to buy the downloadable content, to get an extra little boost. They know at this point, everybody who's going to buy it on disc from GameStop already has. Those who are just there to catch in on the second wave and enjoy it for, 10 hours for fun, they're the people who are going to be getting it for free online. So they're just trying to weasel a little bit of more money out of you with some slapped together DLC. And this just worries me. This worries me a lot. So really, I guess this is a plea. This is a plea to gamers, and this is a plea to game developers. If you're going to make DLC, make good DLC. Before you buy DLC, research DLC. Because good DLC should be rewarded, and bad DLC should be shown out in the light of day for what it is. A shill. A thing that's trying to steal a little bit of extra money from you. So guys, as always, this has been DreamcastGuy. Feel free to share this video on some sort of forums or with all your gaming buddies so that they know to keep an eye out for these weird bad business practices. Also, comment, like, and subscribe. But as always, keep dreaming. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, maybe check out my last video. Please subscribe, and if you want, share this somewhere with your friends.